Hello everyone, I'm Joseph Dinesh, a Catholic commentator from Sydney, Australia. Today we are diving into a topic that often gets overlooked but is deeply important: the anti-Catholic bias in the American political system. Though sometimes subtle, this bias has influenced political decisions and shaped how Catholic values and traditions are perceived in the public life. What prompted me to create this commentary was a recent event involving Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party's nominee for president. She chose not to attend the Alfred E Smith dinner, a Catholic charitable event that has been a cornerstone of American presidential tradition for over 60 years. This dinner, which raises funds for Catholic charities, has historically brought together political leaders from both parties in a spirit of unity and goodwill. Her decision to break from this tradition raises deeper questions about the attitudes towards Catholicism in today's political arena. This isn't just about one missed charity dinner. It highlights a larger issue: the marginalization of Catholic values, the quiet sidelining of Catholic voices, and the reluctance to engage with institutions like Catholic charities point to a broader pattern of bias. It is a pattern that we as Catholics need to be aware of. To understand the roots of this bias, let's listen to Bishop Barron, who has long spoken about how anti-Catholic sentiment has been woven into the fabric of American political history.
Now, as any historian of American culture knows, you don't have to go very far to find this strain within the American system. Go back to the Founding Fathers, and you'll find a lot of pretty strongly worded anti-Catholicism. John Adams, whom I deeply admire, but there's a famous reflection he has on going to Mass when he was in Philadelphia, and just to kind of see what was happening. And he was enthralled by the Catholic Mass, but he's like, "Oh, it's a miracle that we're able to wrench ourselves away from this display, this medieval display." Then come up into the 19th century, of course, you have during the era of immigration when so many Catholics were coming from Germany and from Southern Europe and Eastern Europe, there was a very strong reaction on the part of a lot of the American establishment against this influx of Catholics. And you have, for example, the Know Nothing Party and others that were organized in an explicitly anti-Catholic way. Unless you think it was only, real extremists and yahoos who held to these anti-Catholic views in the 19th century, look at people like Ulysses Grant. I mean, he makes a very strong anti-Catholic set of speeches. Then in the early 20th century, someone like Woodrow Wilson, I mean, he's a great American statesman, but deliver themselves a fiercely anti-Catholic rhetoric. Now, come up to 1960, some will say, well, that's when it all ended, when JFK, the first Catholic, was elected president. Well, I'd say yes and no. JFK, as I've said many times before, was much more of a privatized Catholic. His Catholic faith was taken really out of the public arena. And so his being elected was like, well, that's all right. That's the kind of Catholic that we can tolerate. But I think you can find this very deep anti-Catholicism coming up on a regular basis, and you certainly saw it last week.
Catholic politicians in particular have faced skepticism about their loyalty to the country, often being viewed as agents of the Vatican. This bias isn't new. Alfred E Smith, the first Catholic presidential nominee from a major political party, faced similar challenges during his campaign. Let me share with you one of the powerful statements he made on this issue. "You imply that there is a conflict between religious loyalty to the Catholic faith and patriotic loyalty to the United States. Everything that has actually happened to me during my long public career leads me to know that no such thing is true. I have taken an oath of office in the state of New York 19 times. Each time I swore to defend and maintain the Constitution of the United States. During the years I have discharged these trusts, I have been communicant of the Roman Catholic Church. If there were a conflict, I of all men could not have escaped it because I have not been a silent man but a battler for social and political reform." What is this conflict between church and state about which you talk? It may exist in some lands which do not guarantee religious freedom, but in the wildest dreams of your imagination, you cannot conjure up a possible conflict between religious principle and political duty in the United States, except on the unthinkable hypothesis that some law were to be passed which violated the common morality of all God-fearing men. And if you can conjure up such a conflict, how would a Protestant resolve it? Obviously, by the dictates of his conscience. That is exactly what a Catholic would do. From this quote, we can draw three key insights that are still relevant today. First, Smith highlights that in the United States, the principle of religious freedom provides a strong foundation for the citizens to practice their faith without interference while also fulfilling their civic duties. He makes it clear that there are no inherent conflict between religious beliefs and public service. Thanks to the US Constitution, individuals, regardless of their faith, are not forced to choose between their religious convictions and their responsibilities to their country. In short, religious freedom allows faith and duty to harmonize, each strengthening the other without conflict or compromise. Second, Smith points out that any conflict between religious principles and political obligations would arise in rare and extreme circumstances, such as a law that blatantly violates core moral values shared by all people of faith. He argues that religious beliefs, particularly those of Catholics, do not inherently clash with civic duties. Rather, both Catholics and non-Catholics alike follow a common moral framework rooted in justice, human dignity, and ethical behavior, principles that transcend denominational boundaries. In short, a conflict between faith and duty appears only when laws stray from the path defying the conscience shared by all God-fearing hearts. Third, Smith raises a critical point by questioning why concerns about religious loyalty and patriotism are only raised when a Catholic is running for office while Protestants face no such scrutiny. This double standard suggests that Catholics are subject to an unfair and disproportionate level of suspicion simply because of their faith. This not only exposes bias but also hints at a deeper issue: religious discrimination, which unfairly questions a Catholic's loyalty to their country. In short, where Catholics stand in shadow, doubt, and Protestants walk unscarred, revealing a thread of quiet discrimination subtly woven through the fabric of judgment. In conclusion, Alfred E. Smith's words remind us that the challenges faced by Catholics in public life are not new, but they are significant. As we navigate today's political climate, it's essential to keep these lessons in mind. Let me leave you with another powerful quote by Alfred E. Smith that encapsulates this belief in both faith and country. I believe in the United States of America as the government of the people, by the people, for the people. I believe in the absolute separation of church and state. I hold in my heart the faith of my fathers. I will keep it in my soul, but it will not enter into the affairs of my country. I believe in the common brotherhood of men under the common fatherhood of God. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. God bless you.